What's up, ladies and gents? Buku Gaming back with another video. And this video, I will be talking about the game preview for Super Bowl 58, 49ers versus the Chiefs, Sunday, February 11th at 6:30 in Las Vegas at Allegiant Stadium. And I will be presenting this probably about a week. It should be a week from now, exactly 1 week from now. So we pretty close. We're 1 week from the Super Bowl. We're 1 week from the biggest game in the NFL, the creme de la creme, the game that defines it all, the final game of the season of the 2023 season. And we're going to go into some of the stats. On the screen, as you can see, is the simulation game between the 49ers and the Chiefs. I do have it at 4-minute quarters, accelerated clock, and on all Madden. Just to speed it along, I don't want to drag it too long. And plus, just to pick up the action a little bit, because anything longer than like 5 minutes, it tend to drag a little bit. So, just to speed it up a little bit, just to get the action going. So that'll be playing on your screen. And without further ado, I will get into the stats. Some of the player stats for the 2023 season. Just my final thoughts on like the teams that's playing, their offense, some of the plays that they run, things like that. I want to talk about with my matchup that I want to see in the Super Bowl. And then at the end, I will present to you with my final score prediction to be and who's going to be the winner, who's going to come out the victor, hoisting the Lombardi trophy. So I'm going to start with the Chiefs. The Chiefs are, as a lot of people say, they are currently in their dynasty, a dynasty team. From what I know and from how long I've been watching the NFL, they always been a good team. But I think once, Andy Reid got there, the team started picking up, performing better and things like that. And then when Mahomes got there, that's when like you really started to see a trajectory for the better. You start seeing them perform better. So like he definitely did bring some spunk, and he definitely did bring some fire to the team. So the matchup between Chiefs and 49ers, they have played in the Super Bowl before, and I got to watch that Super Bowl, with Mahomes, with his comeback, because they did play from behind. They came back, they won. I believe the score was, I think the Chiefs scored over 30. I think it was like 30-20 or like 27-20 or something like that. But I know the Chiefs did come back, and I know they did win that game. That was the last Super Bowl that they played in. I do know that against the 49ers and the matchups that Mahomes started and played in the games that he played in, he is undefeated against the 49ers. So is he like Aaron Rodgers owning the Chicago Bears? Is it like that? I don't think so. But, I mean, he has their number, and he can figure out ways to beat them. But it says it all. Numbers don't lie. He's undefeated against them. This matchup is, let's see, I think this will be their fourth matchup. I think this will be the fourth time that as a starting QB for the Chiefs that Mahomes will play the 49ers. I think this is either their third matchup or his fourth matchup against the team. Far as 2023 season go, 27 TDs, 14 interceptions, and around about 250 or over 250 yards per game. Uh, his interceptions is higher than usual. You know, they're higher than usual. I don't think. I think this like the most interceptions he's probably thrown or something like that. His last four games, he threw 70% completion. He threw 4 TDs and no interceptions. So that's something. That's something to go about. That's something to look at. Not throwing interceptions in the last 4 games. So that's playoff. That's the playoff game. Probably, I think last game of the season. But in his last 4 games, no interceptions with 70% completion rate and 4 TDs. That's pretty good. His most recent game against the Ravens, he was 30 for 39. So out of 39 passes, he completed 30 of them, which that is pretty damn good. Almost 250 yards in the TD. So, he was fired that game. So if he is coming into the Super Bowl with those stats, that's going to be something to look for, and that's going to be something that the 49ers have to plan around. And talking about, Mahomes, his offensive presence and his offensive firepower and the firepower that he brings to the offense, he is going up against a top 10 defense. So you have to put that in mind. He is going up against a top 10 defense. Specifically, the pass defense for the 49ers is top 5 in the NFL. And I think I can't think of what the Russian defense or how good the Russian defense is, but I know that their defense is top 5. But you have not just Mahomes that they have to worry about. They have Kelsey. Kelsey is the number 2 tight end in the NFL. For 2023, I think almost 1,000 yards. I want to say. I think almost 1,000 yards. So they have that to worry about. The 49ers top 5 pass defense. Let's see, other receivers. Rice, he almost had 1,000 yards this season for the Chiefs. Watson was at around like 500. Valdez Scantling was around, I think it was more closer around to 3, I think under 350 for the season. And Pacheco, I can't think of where his receiving yards was at, but those was the top receivers. And then with Mahomes, and then for the 49ers, for their pass defense to be top 5, that's going to be a good matchup. But I don't want to go too far into the 49ers yet. But for the Chiefs, they also have a top 5 defense, which is, I want to say that they're ranked 2nd in points per game allowed. Holding teams to under like 3 touchdowns or 21 points in like the last like 7 games or something like that, or the last like 8 games, and that's including playoffs too. So not only are the Chiefs an offensive power, but like I said, like I will repeat, numbers don't lie. They also have a pretty damn good defense too to go along with that offense. So they can back it up, and their defense can get them out of sticky situations whenever the offense is not going, or whenever the offense is, starting to slow down. Allowed fewest yards in the NFL, the Chiefs pass defense, which makes them a top 10 defense. So they have a top 10 offense and a top 10 defense. Like I said once before, allow fewer stars in the NFL. Um, but on the other side of things, and something that's not to be passed over is whenever the Chiefs don't score more than like 20 points or something like that, they tend to lose. So that just goes to show that like their offense plays a big role, and if you can stop that offense, that does affect the outcome, that does affect their momentum. But if their offense can get going, and if their offense gets started, and they score more than 20 points in the game, that's pretty much guaranteed to win, because they haven't lost if they score more than 20 points in the game. So if they can score more than 20 points, and they do it against the 49ers in this game, they're pretty much guaranteed to win, and pretty much guaranteed, to hoist the Super Bowl trophy at the end. But if the 49ers could keep them under, I want to say 17, I would say between 17 to 20 points, if they keep them under that, then the 49ers is pretty much guaranteed to win. So, that just goes to show that they're not a team that necessarily can thrive or succeed in playing from behind. But they can do it. The Chiefs can do it. The Chiefs have played from behind in games and have came back and won, with the most recent one being against the Bills. They were trailing the Bills at one point. They did come back. They did score. They did get some good stops against the Bills. And that's what sent them further into the playoffs, this season's playoffs. But on the other hand, now I'm going to get into the 49ers. 49ers, top 5 offense, scoring almost 30 points a game for 2023 season. Over 10 games where they did score 30-plus points. So they also have a high-power offense. And, I mean, just look at some of the players they got. They got Brock Purdy, for the offense. They got Trent Williams at guard for the offense. They got the running backs. They got Mitchell. I think he's a rookie, but they got Mitchell, and they got obviously Christian McCaffrey. So they got 2 good running backs, and they have a good running back to back up McCaffrey whenever McCaffrey needs a break or anything like that. Then they got the number 1 tight end in the NFL, stats wise, with George Kittle. Then they got Deebo Samuel. Yes, he had problems with injuries and things like that, but you got him. You got Brandon Ayuk. He's been fire, and he can torch offense. He can torch defenses. Excuse me. He can torch defenses. Then they have what's the other good receiver that they have on the team? There's another good receiver that they have on the team that I can't think of right now. But it's one more good receiver that they have that gets them out of jams, or that adds to their offensive power. I can't think of his name right off the bat. But top 5 offense. Top 10 offense when it comes to rushing. Passing offense, which is weird, I don't know what, but it's true. You can look at the stats on NFL.com. That's where I got most of my stats from. So shouts out to NFL.com for that, providing the stats. But they're dead last in passing attempts. Despite having a top 5 offense, to be dead last in passing attempts, but to be top 10 in rushing attempts, it's crazy. And then for them to be in the Super Bowl and have the record that they have, that's crazy to think about. But to continue, obviously, with CMC. Uh, I haven't really heard about MVP talks because every MVP talk has been about Lamar Jackson. Um, but number one in rushing, so he's the number one running back in the NFL. I think almost 1,500 yards. I could be wrong, and if I'm wrong, please put it, state in the comments if I'm wrong. Or go ahead and put in the comments the correct number if you got the correct number. But almost 1,500 yards, 14 touchdowns. So that's it right there. Like, amazing running back, good running back. Nice to see him going to a team to where he can really show his skills and really shine. And and don't have to carry so much of the load, and don't have to have the weight of the team on his back. It's when he was with Carolina, because in Carolina it was a lot like riding on him, and the team definitely centered around him, and the team was definitely on his shoulders. But for him to be successful like he was, and to be a good player like he was, but to go to a team to where they have other players that can contribute tremendously to the offense, that's great, and that really allows him to really focus on the running back position. And he's a good catcher too. He can catch out of the field in the flat. He can run downfield, catch deeper passes. And talking about passes, 49ers QB Brock Purdy, talking about passes. 2023 season, he threw 31 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. Against the most recent game, against the Lions, 20 for 31, almost 300 yards. I think more like around like 260, a touchdown. He did throw one interception. He threw that into not so good coverage too, because I did watch that game. Not so good coverage, but he did throw an interception. So he's been doing great. He's actually been doing great ever since he started for the 49ers. And I know people, Mr. Irrelevant. I don't care about none of that. He was drafted. That's all that matters. He's producing. He showed that he can play. Yes, he's not like other QBs that went to a team that, they had to build up the offense, had to bring in players to help him out. So he did go to an already established and, well-oiled machine offense that is the 49ers. But for him to come on to the field, when they needed a QB, and for him to step up and play like he'd been starting for them all along, like Jimmy Garoppolo, like for him to play at the level he's playing at, like Jimmy Garoppolo was never like their QB, and he been their QB. That's amazing. Kittle, like I said, number one tight end in the NFL. Kelsey, number two. But Kittle, 1,000-yard season. Ayuk, 1,000-yard season. Samuel, around like 800. So, you got that high power, and you can't forget about the pass defense for the 49ers. Pass defense, top 5 in the NFL. So they got a top 5 offense, top 5 defense. Top 10 offense and top 10 defense for the Chiefs. So this is definitely going to be clash of the superpowers between the two. Fire offense versus fire defense, and then vice versa. But I will state that all the losses that the 49ers have experienced this season, the 2023 season, they scored less than 21 points. So that's similar to the Chiefs. Because the Chiefs, when they score less than 20 points, they tend to lose the game. And the same goes for the 49ers. When they score less than 20 points, they tend to lose the game. And McCaffrey, when he records more than 70 rushing yards, they're guaranteed to win, which is crazy. But, just my final thoughts on it. Like I said, two high-power offenses, two offenses that can score, two amazing tight ends. They got, they got receivers. They got two amazing quarterbacks. But the matchup that I'm looking for the most is I want to see Kelsey. I want to see Kelsey versus. Let's see. I would like to see Kelsey. I would like to see Kelsey versus 49er linebackers. Because Warner and Greenlaw, they're going to be on them. Hufanga. I wish Hufanga was playing because. Oh man, if Hufanga was playing. But that's the matchup I want to see. The other matchup I want to see is Snead for the Chiefs. Snead versus. I want to see Snead versus Brandon Ayuk, because you can count on Brandon Ayuk down the field. Or really Snead versus Ayuk or Kittle, because Kittle, he's known to go downfield and make some big plays down the field too. And him with 1,000 yards receiving for the 2023 season, that goes to show. So I like to see that, but I like to see, that's what I like to see. And I like to see how Mahomes would match up against just the 49ers defense as a whole. Because, he's known to make some crazy passes, extend the offense, somehow, get out of a tackle and scramble for a few yards and scramble for a first down. So, that's another matchup I like to see. My final score prediction, I say the 49ers will pull it out. As far as score goes, I don't think it's going into overtime. I think the 49ers will. I say 24-17 is my final score. I say 49ers win the Super Bowl 24-17. Purdy's first Super Bowl ring. That's my final score, and that's stamped right there. I'm gonna stamp that one. That's pretty much that's the stats. 2023 season stats. Their last game stats. My thoughts on both teams, and that's my final score prediction. With that being said, get ready for the Super Bowl. Like I said, at the time of this video, exactly 1 week. Just comment below on this video. If you're watching this video, comment below with your final score prediction is, and who's going to be hoisting that Lombardi trophy at the end. And with that being said, love yourself, treat others the way you want to be treated. Boohoo Gaming, signing out.